Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to a one-of-a-kind experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today, we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan contactee, Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. So, without further ado, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
Concerning natural portals, in your understanding of natural portals, what is the highest and best use of natural portals at this time, and how can we assist? Some of these are very powerful. Is there specifically protection assigned to their use for good, and how can we help protect these resources?
That's an outstanding question. And portals is something that's come up a lot in conversation with friends because of disincarnate spirits, ghosts, regressive entities that are not visible to us in third yet, but that attach to people and are negative entities, and they feed off of people. They feed off of fear and anger and things of that nature. That's a real issue, and there are people who do a lot of work in talking about that. And in fact, I will give you a name or two of people who do exactly that, because this has come up in the life of people around me. And I'm absolutely fascinated you would ask this question. There are people who do this type of work, and I am myself just beginning to get into and to research their work because of this specific thing about portals and negative energies that move in and out. Come on, where is it? I'm sorry. Shit. These are people who are called hijackers, or entities that they're called hijackers. I'm out of time. This will be the first thing that I give you in our next webinar, okay? Because this is a topic I want to talk about. Because as we get higher in frequency, we're going to see all this garbage that's in lower fourth, and we're going to have to learn how to protect ourselves.
It seems to me that in seeing the Mandela Effect ramp up significantly, that it indicates there is an increase in negative timeline insertions and countering positive timeline insertions, and vice versa. How is this affecting individuals energetically, spiritually, physically, and mentally? And what can each of us do to help the positive helpers? Thanks for all you do.
You're welcome. Well, yeah, we're in a war. We're in a war, and there's a battle going on, and it is going on all around us. And like I said earlier in the presentation today, it's a game of strategy. It's a war of strategy. One makes a move, the other responds. The other responds, the other makes another move. That's what's going on. Now, I want you to understand that it's my understanding. It's my understanding that only one is able to use looking glass. So every time the dark side makes a move, the good guys, white hats, whatever we want to call them, the Knights of Terra, they use looking glass and they make a move into the future to remove this particular event, so it doesn't become a factor. So in essence, what's happening is the Knights of Terra using looking glass, aka the white hats, white helmets. I like that analogy better. They're constantly a step ahead, nullifying the actions being taken by the dark side, which causes the dark side to get more and more desperate, and the more desperate they become, the closer they put themselves into a corner. Because if you have few options, you have some moves. But when you no longer have any options, you have no moves. You're checkmated. You're done. And we're almost there. There's probably just a couple pieces left on the board. I don't know what those pieces are. Stand by, I'm sure we'll find out. But that's where we're at. So the white helmets, the Knights of Terra, are aggressively moving and staying ahead of the enemy, which is what you want. What's also interesting is that by doing that, they're literally leading the dark side, the dark forces, into their own corner. They're leading them into the corner. It's really quite brilliant, actually. Should I read that Sun Tzu thing again? I don't know what I did. Here it is. I'll read this one more time. An old Persian technician wanted to teach his young troops strategy. That later became the game known as chess, the board game known as chess. Young warriors like to fight head on, and old warriors like to wait. They let their opponents expose the board and or field of battle and work themselves into a corner, and then they checkmate them. This is in essence the Sun Tzu, the art of war. That's what it's all about. That is literally what's happening here. It's literally what's happening. Look at how brazen the Democrats got right after they had stolen the election. Look how brazen they are. They have totally painted themselves into a corner now. They have exposed who and what they are and what their agenda is to everyone. They can't walk it back. They can't walk it back. So, and the political left in this country is just representative of a very large group worldwide that have chosen it upon themselves to rule over the rest of us, whether we want them to or not. So this is a worldwide battle that's occurring. It's almost over, folks. I'm going to say early spring, mid-spring, this will be done. The hammers will fall. We'll know where we're going. Profound information will be coming from all parts of the planet. Some of it incredibly disturbing information. Heartbreaking information will be coming out. But we have to keep moving forward. We just do. We have to keep moving forward for the sake of humanity and future generations. Remember, you are forefathers and foremothers now. Okay? You are forefathers and foremothers of a new humanity right here, right now.
Can you talk about energetic blocks, trauma, and addiction?
Well, I think energy blocks are probably the result of people holding on to anger, rage, or refuse to forgive themselves or others. Living in the past, stuck in the past. Trauma is the result of an emotional experience or a physical experience where one simply cannot come to grips with what happened. And many of those are completely justified. I'm probably not the right person to even address that question. Not that I haven't experienced all of those things. I have. It's interesting, though, that a lot of mental illness now, there are people, and this Marianne Wisconski talks about this, is that these are attachments, entity attachments that attach to people that is literally feeding off of the soul of the being that they're attached to. They're like hitchhikers, spiritual hitchhikers is a phrase. And that some of the mental illness is that. It's the fact that they're treating it in a completely wrong way. It is not a mental illness, it's a spiritual illness. There is an energy attached to them that is not who they are. And it's an interesting perspective. Let's just put it that way. It's a very, very interesting perspective. And I think at this point, we need to be open to everything. The medical industry is dramatically changing. It is in most ways completely failing what's happening to humanity because our bodies are changing, our souls are changing. It's not up to speed. Excuse me, with all the changes. It's not up to speed at all. In fact, it's falling further and further behind. Being able to heal the body, which is color, light, sound. They're not treating it with any of that. And that's why the med beds are so important, because they use color, light, and sound. And supposedly the first ones we're supposed to see sometime by the end of this year. Fingers crossed.
Besides once said, the worship of the Isness is the creation of self. What does that mean to you? Guess what, Lauren Wagner?
What does that mean to me specifically? I will share that with you in this way. Despite my many faults and trials and tribulations, I am a spark of divinity. And the more I honor that divinity, the more that I learn to appreciate the divinity that I am and all the things around me that are divine and that are made of spirit, made of soul, and are expressions of such thereof. It empowers me to become more and more divine myself and to become an expression of that divine essence that is the origination of the creation of all things. That's how I would answer that question.
Can ascension to 5D be equal to the rapture displayed in the Bible?
I would think so. I would think so. I would think fourth density would be the equivalent of the rapture as well. There are people who have ascended. And what I mean by that is they raised the frequency of their body so high that they jumped and left this physical form. I was aware of someone, I believe it was in the 70s or 80s, of a woman in New York City. Her name was Anna Lee Sakharin, who literally did this transition herself in front of all of her friends. Anna Lee Sakharin, I think it is. She has a book, Ye Are Gods, where she went through this exact process. She doesn't exactly spell it out in the book, I think, but she does talk about the process. And I've heard of others in the past who rose or literally just walked what appeared to be a portal, and they were gone. We know it's possible. Yogis talk about this all the time. We have yogis on this planet today who can teleport. Okay? They're not using Uber. They're teleporting their frequency, their energy. They're relocating their physicality from one place to another. That means they're using doors or gates or portals. So we know it's possible. We know it can be done. It just takes a lot of discipline, or at least it has, to take this dense form and to rise the frequency so high that you can do it. Now, maybe it's easier now because the entire physical plane, the vibration of it is rising up. Maybe it's easier to do those kind of things now. Maybe when we move into fourth, we'll be able to do that at will. I don't know. But I mean, anything's possible. Anything at all is possible. I truly believe that to be true, that anything is possible.
Hi, Alex. It's been said that those who repeatedly choose the chaos in the 3D consciousness will remain in the 3D reality. Those of us who are ready to move into 4 and 5D will not experience the 3D chaos much longer. Will we all continue living together, but in different realities, not seeing each other, or those not ready to move on be relocated somewhere else? Thanks, as always.
Okay, that's a great question. Going back to what I opened with, those of us that move into 4, we will still have access to those on 3 because we're spiritual beings. That doesn't change. But those of us that go from 4 to 5, you will still have access to those in 4th because we're spiritual beings. Those of us on 3rd who remember those who have crossed over, passed out of physicality, we need to remember that we still have access to them, even though the relationship has changed. It is not physical anymore. However, it is still spiritual. What one chooses to remember is entirely up to them. I do not know what's going to happen to 3rd density. it was my understanding, and has been, that at some point third density on itself would implode. So the foundational frequency would be 4. I don't know if there's a change to that. I don't know if that plan's been altered. I don't have any timeline whatsoever as to when that's going to occur. But if it doesn't occur, then essentially we will have the same structure we have now. Those will ascend into 4th and then to 5th. Those on 3rd will continue to figure it out. And once they have figured it out, then they will either reincarnate into another frequency, a higher frequency, or they will not. And they will continue to plod through the jello of 3rd density. Even those that go from 4th to 5th, 3rd to 4th, still about the journey. Those of us who go from 3rd to 4th to 5th, it's still about the journey. The A's going from 5 into 6, it's still about the journey. We're always going to be on the journey of self-discovery. It's never going to end. What will change will be the experiences and the physicality in which we choose to have those experiences. But every single one of us is on a journey of self-discovery. It's just what it is. And I'm okay with that. A vacation here and then would be great, but we'll see.
This is a critical question for the whole group. Regarding our own frequency, how do we tune into our own frequency and hear it or sense it? I am grounded, do meditate, but not sure if I'm getting it. Please help. This affects all of us on the outside.
You know, that is a very great question, but it's not one size fits all. It just isn't. So the only way I can answer that question is to give you my own personal perspective from my own personal experience. This doesn't mean it's going to work for anyone else. When I need to hear my frequency, I go into nature. And what I do is I turn off the chatter as best as I can. And then what I do is I watch nature. And what I focus on is happy. I focus on being happy, experiencing joy, just being in that moment. And when I find that, and I don't always do it, but when I find that place of joy, where I find myself looking at the mountains, the snow-capped mountains, surrounded by trees, surrounded by nature, the blue sky, the green, and everything else is behind me. All the shit is behind me. And I am there in that moment. And I'm happy. I'm in a space of just joy. That's my frequency. That's the frequency I want. That's the frequency I want to carry with me all the time. To be in that frequency in the present moment as much as possible. And then what I do is when I have to leave, because I have to go back to this, I do everything I can to take that moment with me, to carry that moment with me for as long as possible. And when I can't go out into nature, I literally try to create that here in my space. I mean, you see the trees, you see the lights, you see the coziness. I have, what's that? Yankee Candle, balsam and cedar. I bring the mountains to me. And it reminds me, it helps me get back into that place of that joy. So when I can't be there, I try to create it here and I try to hold it. Great music, soft music, 60s, 70s music, 80s, 90s rock, jazz, whatever it is that makes me happy, makes me feel joy. The dog, Merlin, he's behind me on the floor. He works me to take him for walks. And, we go out into nature. All those things that you intentionally create for yourself to hold that moment or moments, that's your frequency. That's your frequency. Because you're trying to create it, you're trying to hold it, and you are doing the things you need to do to be it. And that could change. I mean, that could move. That target may move. When the weather's nice and it's spring or it's summer, you're more outdoors more. You do things around the yard, you do your gardening. That's your frequency because you're in a state of love. You are doing the things you love to do. That's your frequency. And when you're happy, others around you will be happy or will feel your joy. And if they don't, they will leave your space or you will leave theirs. That's just how it works,
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue on our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration, and remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you would like to see Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.